Welcome to Inside Edition, where we discuss national, regional, and international issues in depth. At the heart of the Arabian Gulf, the Kingdom of Bahrain has shined throughout previous centuries as the center point of travel and commercial trade between the East and the West. And when the modern aviation industry came into existence, Bahrain was one of the first countries in the Middle East to open its ground and skies and its international airport, which was the first to be opened in the region, becoming home to the fast-growing aviation sector with all its global, commercial, and cargo airlines since its establishment in the early 1920s. This year marks a new era of Bahrain International Airport's development as the new passenger terminal has recently begun its advanced operations, offering the highest levels of services to its customers, partners, and millions of passengers passing through the gates every year. To talk more about that, we are pleased to be joined by Bahrain Airport Company's Chief Development and Technical Officer, Mr. Abdullah Janahi, right after this. Welcome to the show, Mr. Abdullah Janahi, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for receiving me today.
Congratulations, first off, on the opening and the official operations running at the Bahrain International Airport on the 28th of January. It was a very big day for the whole country and especially for you guys as a team. What can you tell us about the development of the aviation sector in the kingdom?
We started looking at the entire business of aviation back in 2013 when we looked that we are going to stay in the same platform. So how we are going to develop this platform. A lot of people, they think the airport is a terminal building, but in fact it's not just a terminal building. We appointed a consultant and we looked to say how we are going to replan our entire platform. So we looked at it from security first, where the security boundary is going to be. We looked at it from terminal building, car parking, then we looked at the fuel farm, cargo village, aircraft hanging facilities, and some auxiliary facilities which is supporting the business and operation, plus our runway and taxiway and aircraft parking. Right. We started that in 2013-14. Once we knew exactly what we want to do, we started engaging a consultant to do the design for the new terminal building. And the journey we started in 2014. We started with the design, appointing a consultant first, then we started the design and design development, couple of options until we froze the design and we start to go through the life cycle of the design and until we reach to the detailed design and we release the tender in the market. And we appointed the contractor and we started breaking the ground on April 2016. Yes,
yes. I mean, one of the things that people might not really understand, that it took all of 4 years to build this massive structure with all of the facilities, auxiliary facilities that are in it, and even with the staffing and the testing and everything. I mean, that's a very short time for a massive project such as this. So what can you tell us about the development of it?
The planning started right. I mean, when we looked at we are going to do the terminal building, a brand new terminal building in this platform, so we looked at it, okay, what we have. While we were doing the design of the terminal building, we did the enabling works. So we prepared the ground. So we removed some buildings we had on that platform. We removed them out. We relocated them. And we removed all the underground services. We relocated them. We work with, for example, with the Electricity and Water Authority to remove a big substation out from the footprint. And we relocated that. So while the design was developing, we were doing a lot on the ground. Yeah. So when the main contractor arrived and he started the works, the ground was ready. There was nothing left for him to hold him back. Yes. We developed it. The program was 4 years. We developed in this 4 years in a good coordination between the engineers, the project management, the operation teams, and the contractor. It was like more of a teamwork. We used to meet daily between 4 to 8 o'clock in the evening, just to understand any challenge. His Excellency, the Minister, he used to be in this meeting on a daily basis, including Mohammed himself as the CEO. Consultant was on board, everybody were looking, and the team was looking at the project. It was becoming like energy in it, and people wanted to see that the success of the project.
Yes. When it comes to the aviation sector in the kingdom, the airport is but a speck of the whole aviation system when it comes to Gulf Air as the official carrier, when it comes to GAA as the official academy for aviation, when it comes to the massive amount of Bahraini cadres that support the aviation system. What can you tell us about how it has proceeded over the years, how it has become better over the years?
I mean, I look at it because we are, as a Bahrain airport company, we are responsible for the operation of the BIA. I mean, it's not just the terminal building. And Gulf Air is our partner, is one of the main base hub carrier. So we work with them and we understand what is their need and requirement. And from there you start to understand how to facilitate certain needs they need to have connectivities. And this is what's important. If you can see from the design, we looked into Gulf Air need and requirement. This is why you see a lot of their small fleet of aircraft. We are trying to eliminate the buses. So all the aircraft will be in a contact gate. So the people will not use any more buses to go in and out like the old terminal. And this is where we started. When you look at the Gulf Academy is a sister company to us, and we use them for training. Today with the Gulf Academy, we are using them to train our security and Ministry of Interior. They have an academy there, all our security people, because the business, aviation business is regulated. By Civil Aviation is a regulator, and also we have an International Civil Aviation Organization, which is regulating this business. Today, the academy, they are training all our screeners there.
So that by itself is another field of the aviation that is also producing more cadres at this point. Well, we talked about it a little bit before we started the show. The airport started their official operations on the 28th of January, marking a new era for the kingdom's aviation sector. What can you tell us about this development in terms of facts and figures, and what is new in the airport that people should look forward to?
The project was divided into three segments. I mean, if I segregate them, the terminal building itself, it is more than 200,000 square meter built-up area as a terminal. We have a car park as a multi-story car park, which is again is accommodating more than 2,700 car park. And there is a third building, which is the main building for us, which is the utility complex, which is all the backbone of the business is there, and people, they don't see that because it's all water, cooling, power, and everything is there. The terminal building itself is, we design it to be a friendly terminal. From all the perspective of that, the passenger, when they arrive to depart the Bahrain until they go to their gate, is a seamless journey. We created it. You drop a passenger, he can go to the terminal building, the space of the terminal building, the volume we created, simplistics of your check-in. If you want a conventional check-in, you can go to a conventional check-in. If you want, you are a high-tech person, you can go do your own check-in at home. You come to the terminal building. You don't want to be in contact with anybody. Get your tag from the tagging machine. Drop your bags. Go to the gate. You don't want to talk to anybody. Swap your mobile phone. The gate will open for you. You go to the immigration and you want to go to the e-gate, use your smart card, use your passport, you are on the security point. Once you reach to the security point, now also in here, we don't want you to take your laptop out. We don't want you to take your mobile out. We don't want you to take anything out. Put your bags on the X-ray machine. The X-ray machine, you pick your bag on the other side, you're on the duty free. Once you finish shopping and everything, you can sit down, enjoy what we are offering in the terminal building, and wait for your aircraft and have a nice journey to leave Bahrain.
I mean, I just want to emphasize on that point. Bahrain International Airport has brought in state-of-the-art X-ray machines for baggages, where people don't have to separate their fluids, they don't have to separate any kind of technological equipment, which makes it much easier to actually go through the security system and much safer. What can you say about getting these latest technologies when it comes to safety?
When we were at the earlier stage of design, these machines were not available. And then as we started to develop this, I mean, technology is evolving. After 3 years, we found that this technology is going to add a different edge for us, for our passenger and our operations. So we went and we procured this machine to give additional capacity, because if you look at the X-ray machine today, we can load 5 passengers at the same time. You load it automatically. The screener are fully, is a CT machine. The screener, the X-ray guys who's sitting behind the screen, he see a bag's fully open.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to take a lot of time to decide if it's organic material, non-organic material, what is it. So just the simplistics of the operation of this machine.
Yes.
And technology evolving.
Yes, yes. I mean, also on that same point, before Bahrain International Airport actually opened, there were several run-through tests that were done with volunteers where different scenarios were done in order to have everything on the table and test everything out. What can you tell us about the success of these?
You're talking about the ORAT now,
Yes.
of airport operation readiness. I mean, we did two sides. I mean, I'm coming from an engineering.
Yeah.
When we fix any assets, we do our own testing for that assets to
Right.
make sure that it is delivering what it's been intended to deliver.
Yeah.
Then after that, we work closely with our operation people, which they put a lot of scenarios and concept that simulating that the passengers are coming. At every contact point, we started from the curbside, so people arriving, how many cars. When you have a high demand from the car, then we went to the check-in. We simulated, we have thousands of passengers that are coming to the check-in. When everything is running simultaneously, how you will make sure that the system has no glitch in the systems. We finished the check-in, then we went to the passport. With the immigration, we had a trial. We finished with the immigration, we did a trial with the security.
Yeah.
We finished with the security, then we did again with the ground handling at the gate, because you go with a lot of point of contact. At the first, you are ground handling, we are a check-in, then immigration, then security, then again a ground handling, which they put you in the aircraft, and you move out of Bahrain.
Right. And all of these are, of course, necessary, as you said, in order to make sure that the actual operations work as you intend them to work, for any skepticals out there. So, in what way does the travel experience for passenger change through the terminal, the new terminal?
The first, I think, change that people will notice it is the volume of the terminal building, the space, and then natural lighting. Because this building is designed to be certified as a green building.
Yeah.
So all the design from the start was focusing that we want to certify this building by the American Council of a Green Building, that this building should receive an honor, plug of a green gold building. Yeah. So you see a lot of natural lighting. Colors of the building is simple architecture and interior design of the color. We selected simplistics. We went a lot to add art. Yeah. We spend a lot of times, and with a lot of people, we have a lot of art. We went for a paint, we went for a sculpture, we had a cooperation with the culture authorities. We have 2 museums at the entrance, one thing. We also give a chance to a young Bahraini talented. You see 7, 8 walls in the terminal building. Yeah. Each of these walls is giving a different theme and songs behind the people to come and talk about it. And we also, the varieties of offer for the passengers. Yes. If you're looking at from the food angles, we have, you want heavy food, you want a light food, you want diet food, and duty free. I think the variety of the duty free is wide enough. Yes. Plus, if you are overlaying in the terminal building for more than, say, 4 or 5 hours and you want to relax, there is a hotel, there is a spa, there is a public shower. You can go and have a shower if you want to go. These are all built in. Plus, we created the Bahraini Corner, which now we are calling Souk al-Qasariya. Yes. This is an area is being designed. We give you, especially for passengers that are coming through a transit to Bahrain, to give them the experience of Bahrain. Yeah. What is Bahrain? What is Souk al-Qasariya? What we are selling. This is why we created within the souk the Lumi restaurant, which is a Bahraini cuisine, to serve the Bahraini cuisine in this area in order to give the people a taste of Bahrain. Right, right.
When we were going through the airport as media, we were given the opportunity to check everything out from the eyes of people that just came through the airport, as you said, transit. Even when I talked to Mr. Bin Farah, he said, we want people that come to the airport to feel as if they are in Bahrain, even if they're just leaving. And you can see that from the sculptures, as you said. A lot of them are Bahrain concept-based. So you have the famous seabirds of the Bahraini territories. You have famous sculptures, Bahraini sculptors, as well as Bahraini artists that have provided these kind of things. And then when we went to the Souk al-Qasariya, as you said, that area, It really tells you, even like when it comes to the spices of Bahrain, the clothing of Bahraini culture, one of the things that was very impressive was the reuse and the repackaging of some of the materials. One of the companies there actually does repackaging and does like soap products and everything that they
plus the Bahraini jewelry.
Exactly.
Although in the duty free there is a jewelry shops and everything,
Exactly.
but here we focus to be a Bahraini jewelry, a shops for.
Exactly.
Plus at the back of the souk there is there is an art, which is some paints and the galleries and everything. In the middle of the souk, we created like a stage in the evening. We bring a live Bahraini band to play music.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So in the last week, we brought Farqat Mohammed bin Faris to play music into that. So we attract the people to enjoy, to have the atmosphere of Bahrain when they are there.
That's amazing. Even the architectural aspect of Souk al-Qasriya is very Arabic and Bahraini themed. When you see the rooftops and you have those wooden
because
sculptures.
this was not part of the main consultant design. This was another consultant. We appointed a local consultant to design this souk for us.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, since its establishment, Bahrain International Airport's main drivers of success have been its people and its focus on maintaining the highest level of service excellence through investing in Bahraini workforce. What can you tell us about that?
In 2014, when we started the program of the terminal building, down the road we decided, okay, we need resources, we need talent people. And the first things we did, we recruited 20 young, talented Bahraini, graduated freshly from the university. And the first milestone of this project was we brought people for engineering, for facilities management, and for IT, and for operation. So this was our initial in 2014. Some of the engineers, we flew them to the head office of the designer, and they spent time with the designer either in Dubai or in Lebanon to work with the design at the initial stage.
Okay.
Down the road, these people were working during the construction to understand how the construction is happening, because our intention was for these Bahraini to spend time after finishing to maintain this building.
Yes.
Today, these people, especially the engineers, now we are calling them operation and maintenance engineer. Okay. They are on duty 24/7. They are managing the operation maintenance of the terminal building.
It's amazing.
The same thing we did with the IT people. We had a bunch of group of IT. Today they are on the control center and they are managing the operation because they saw it from the blueprint.
Yeah.
And they went with the project until we. That was our first milestone. This program we called the Tahliq.
Yeah, okay.
And then after that, we start to look at Tahliq 2, Tahliq 3. So this is why we end up having more than 80 Tahliq in BAC itself. We are very proud that we have a young Bahraini, talented in engineering and operation and IT. And today we diversified, we took them to HR, to finance, to corporate communication, to all these angles. But the starting was engineering, operation, and IT.
That's amazing, especially that they can call themselves part of an institution such as the Bahrain International Airport. How do you value, I mean, you mentioned that on one aspect, the building of Bahrain International Airport has gotten recognition for being a green building and on the green building system. But how do you value all other kind of international organizations' recognition of Bahrain International Airport's excellence?
I think we have just started. This is our week 3. We are in week 3 of the terminal building. We are hoping that we will win a lot of prizes with this terminal building from international. I think we have partner also. We need to talk about duty free, because duty free is also, they did a magnificent and fantastic jobs. If you look at the Pearl Lounge, if you look at the Gulf Air Lounge, everybody worked together. It was, I mean, I consider this was a very teamwork.
Yes.
All the organization between the ground handling, the airlines, the duty free, all the tenants and people, they have worked together. We always saying the project was to build a terminal building, but within the terminal building we created 40 projects.
Yeah. And
BAC were in the center focus of managing these 40 projects with a different. And you know, in any project, 40 projects on a lifespan of 2 years, not 4 years, because these projects were coming at the year 3 and 4 because the year 1 and 2 was construction year,
Yeah.
and then they started to build up. Some of the project started 6 months.
Okay.
It was very challenging, very consuming times, but I think with a lot of those young Bahraini we had on board, we have achieved it.
Yes, yes. I mean, just to bring it a little bit closer to the viewers, these projects, some of them include, of course, the duty-free itself, the 2 lounges, as you have mentioned. One is an international lounge, the other one is the Gulf Air Lounge. There is also the museums that you have mentioned.
The 2 museums, the hotel.
The hotel, there's an actual hospital in the airport, which is something very unique, I think. I mean, a full-fledged hospital and a clinic, so it's 2 separate things, as well as all of the services that are provided there. How is Bahrain International Airport unique in this time and era?
I think the service we are focusing on customers, and we are focusing on our customer here is our passengers.
Yeah.
We are as a jointly between all these people, we're trying to see what the customer is required and how we can serve this customer, what to give him. And this is why the dynamic of we are still, until today, before I joined today here, this meeting, I was on a tour with His Excellency the Minister, the CEO. Every afternoon, His Excellency the Minister comes to the terminal building and he tours with us, corner, edge by edge, and in order to see what are the things is missing. Including Muhammad himself. We start early morning and we go to this challenges area because you started the project, but it's not the end. We still, our aims is to have the best for our passenger.
Yes, definitely. How about the massivity of the amount of people that go through the airport now versus the old airport?
See, the old airport is, we have managed around 9 million in the old airport, although the design or the terminal design was not more than 3.5.
Okay.
This terminal is designed for 14 million. But unfortunately, because of the COVID-19 challenges we are facing, we are having a very low traffic movement. But we are aiming that the traffic will go to more than, we reach the 14 million in the time we are aiming to reach.
Yes. And we will be there, and we're waiting for the people to come through it. What are the future plans to maintain the success of Bahrain International Airport's provided operations and services at this point?
Our next milestones is to maintain this airport to the standard which we are aiming for, because you constructed it, is finished. Now to maintain these facilities to the A-class facilities, you want these facilities to be maintained.
Right.
Plus we are also having a couple of new projects we have engaged, and we are going to start very soon launching them and outside the terminal building, because the aviation sector, I go back to the 2013 when we did our master planning. We scattered a lot of other, and people, they think we are only looking at the terminal building. No, we are also looking what are the supporting businesses which is supporting. There is a cargo, there is an MRO, there is a fuel farm, there is all these projects. A couple of these projects will be announced very soon. Yeah.
Well, before we get to the end of the show, I really would like to know, I mean, as you said, COVID times, the airport happened to open during COVID times, which might have been a blessing as well as a curse at the same time, because there are so many extra requirements because of the safety of hygiene and security from that point, but also because of the low number of passengers coming. But then there was more time to perfect everything. So during COVID, how is it affecting the opening of the airport?
The COVID did not affect the opening of the COVID has put us additional pressure on us, because we need to do a lot of segregation. We need to build a lot of more shield for where the passenger in contact with the agencies. If you go today, all the check-in counter, we put shield, and the immigration we put shield. We created the social distancing on the seats. We distributed enough sanitization. We needed to look into the disinfection of the terminal building. This is why we bought a couple of robots for the terminal building. We put them in the night. They go and do sanitization by themselves. These are all the additional burdens I'm considering that add on us. The other side, yes, the COVID, because of the low number of the passenger, is giving us a chance also to test our reality of the business and see what are the room of improvement we can work with our partner, because the aviation is a chain of business to each other. It is not just Bahraini Airport Company, it's Bahraini Airport Company, Ministry of Interior under their own, under subdivision, custom, police, CID, and all those businesses, immigration. Then we will go with our partner, which we are working with them, the tenants and the retail business we are doing together.
Yes.
This is giving us to understand how we can see the improvement we want to do every morning.
Yes. How is the working together with local agencies? I mean, right now during COVID, the MOH is a big part of the airport system.
In the new terminal building, if
Yes.
you go there, we have a big facilities for them.
Yes.
And we build it because one of the requirement is we want to have efficiencies. And efficiencies means you need to have more testing facilities, more positioning. If you look today, because MOH becoming a partner to us. Yes. We are working together. We sat down in meeting and we said, okay, we want to process this number of passenger, and this is why we created. I do remember when we started back in early 2020 with the COVID, it just got into us, and then we started to engineer it, where today we are, and I think we have, with a good cooperation with MOH, we have reached a good level of understanding to serve our passenger rightly.
Yes, I mean, that is the collaboration with the MOH. You mentioned the collaboration with the Ministry of Interior, and then you also have the Ministry of Culture and also the Ministry of Commerce. All of these are really supportive, local supportive entities together with the airport.
I mean, I will start with the culture. I mean, when we came and we had a space and we said, okay, what we are going to do with these two spaces, and when we approached the culture authorities and they came with the idea we are going to have one art and one artificial galleries. They brought right pieces from the galleries. Today we are giving the passengers as a feel is like he's in the Bahrain Museum. Yeah. So rather than he's gone to the Bahraini Museum, he's departing, and imagine we have a passenger, international passenger, I have not been to the museum. Yeah. We are giving them a chance to go and taste and enjoy. Yes. That is with the culture. Then when we go to our partner, which is the Ministry of Interior, at each point of contact, we meet the Ministry of Interior on a weekly basis because we need to talk to each other. Once you talk, you communicate, you understand what is happening, you can achieve and improve. And improvement, there is no end for it. Every week, we meet at a different level, at the management level, with these authorities. I think I can say we are all eager to see the best. Yes. And because this country deserves this airport, and the people deserve the right services, and everybody's working as a team, as a Bahraini team, toward that objective, is to give our passenger the right service they need from us.
Absolutely. Before we end today's show, just a word from you to the future tourists coming to Bahrain through our airport. How would you explain to them what their experience from the airport will be like?
If they are coming for the first time to Bahrain, I will tell them this will be the simplistic airport you will go through. It's very simple. From the moment you put your feet down out of the aircraft until you collect your baggage, you will see the seamless of the business you will see go through. When you are going to leave the country, we would like you to leave with it also with the taste of Bahrain. This is why we want you to visit the culture center, which we have. We want you to go to the Souk al-Qasiriyya. We want you to go to the taste of Lumi and taste of the foods we are serving there. Right. We want you to go to the duty free and enjoy your time in the duty free. And if you are a premium passenger, and if you are Gulf Air, you will go and enjoy the service of Gulf Air. And if you are an international airline, go and enjoy the Pearl Lounge. You can see it's a completely different experience in Pearl.
Yes, yes, I've heard it's one of the best actually. The experience is different there.
It's totally different. Our focus was, when we appointed a designer here, not to design an airline lounge. Airline lounge is known from the airline. It's the space, it's the capacity and everything. There we have focused to be a different taste. It is like a high-end lounges, cornering, each corner different than the other corner, but you have your own privacies. And also in the lounge, we went to depending onto the service. It's like receiving you at a 5-star hotel. From the time you reach the reception until you decide to leave, you are at a 5-star hotel.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
And telling us about the beautiful new facilities at the airport, and hoping with so much success more in the future.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
And we would like to thank you, dear viewers, for being with us, and see you next week in another episode of Inside Edition.